Hello, everyone. My name is Daria, and I'm going to be your host today. Welcome to the forum, Schools and AI, and thank you, everybody, for coming. Actually, this is not the microphone, it's just for the online translation, so people can hear us better in the internet also. So I will be speaking just like that. I'm the part of Jornada Association that organized this forum today for us. And we decided to start this because AI is a hot topic now, and lots of people are interested how to use it better, and it affects our lives every day. And we want to help us and you to use it better, especially for the purposes of education. So our goal is to explore and analyze the topic of AI, risks and opportunities that it gives us in education of our kids and ourselves also, not only kids. So our association is called Jornada Convidativa. Yes. And it's a Portuguese non-formal organization dedicated to the development of civic education with focus on students, teachers, and migrant community. And of course, you can follow us on Instagram, or if you post something from this event, please tag us and put the hashtag Jornada AI Forum. So this is the QR code that also leads to our Instagram page. If you want to follow us, please do. And also, I would love to invite my team, Natalia and Vadim. Vadim Matveev is the head of our organization, and Natalia Petrova is the project manager. Please.
Good morning, everyone. Happy to see you. So it's really nice that you can come today. Welcome to the forum, Schools and AI. I'm so glad to see you here today. AI is changing the way we think about education. It can make learning more engaging and personalized, but it also brings big questions about how we use it responsibly in schools. Not only in schools, in some educational centers, in university also. AI has a unique role to play for each of us. For teachers, it can help save time and improve teaching strategies. For partners, it offers insights into their child's progress. And for students also, it opens up new ways to learn and to grow. But balancing these benefits with thoughtful implementation is key. This forum is a chance for all of us educators, innovators, and curious minds to explore these challenges and opportunities together. Your ideas and discussions over the next days, today and tomorrow also, will help shape how we move forward. Thank you for being here and for being part of this important conversation. Thank you.
Good morning, and thanks a lot for coming here. This is a very important event for our team, and I'm very happy to welcome you to discuss education, technology, and its impact to our future. I need to mention that yesterday was International Education Day. It was themed this year AE and Education, Preserving Human Agency in a World of Automation. And I hope that's exactly what we're doing today, talking about how AE can help us without losing our humanity, which is very important. We are here to explore how artificial intelligence is shaping school and education, and our event was supported by Civic Innovation Fund, and I just want to focus a little bit on civic education. As school education is the foundation of civic education, and you know that at school, kids learn not only to read, write, and count, but also to collaborate, to resolve conflicts, and understand different perspectives, and also to think how they can make the future world better. Civic education is not just a theory, it's a practice of living in democratic society. It's about asking questions, respecting others, and making responsible decisions. These skills are becoming even more crucial in a world where technologies, including AI, are advancing so rapidly. Thank you once again for being here, and I am giving this microphone to Daria, who will moderate.
Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure to work with you, and I hope we will make more events together. And yeah, also I wanted to mention our partners. Our partners are Civic Education Fund, also Casa de Impacto, where we all are now, and Clarity School. Civic Innovation Fund supports startup ideas in civic education that apply interdisciplinary and inclusive approaches to promote resilience, diversity, and collaboration in democracy. Clarity School is a private primary school that works with families with different cultural backgrounds based on humanistic approach and gamified learning. And Casa de Impacto is home for a new generation of entrepreneurs who believe in sustainable business models capable of creating a positive impact. And yeah, it's a very nice building, and we are grateful that they are welcoming us here today. As you can see, we have the forum program, and our forum started yesterday, actually. And yesterday it was in Clarity School, and it was the day for the teachers and kids, and we were talking about AI opportunities. So we had our presenter who told us about different opportunities that parents and teachers can use for teaching kids better, let's say. Today, our forum day is dedicated to risks and ethical issues, and our presenters are already ready to start sharing their experience. And tomorrow is going to be a very, very important day, so if you still didn't sign up, please do. It's going to be in Clarity School again, and it's going to be a hackathon of the ideas for the future events dedicated to AI. Now I would love you to take your phones and please scan this QR code. It will lead you to menti.com. And you will see some questions so we get to know each other a bit better. Does it work? Does it show anything? By the way, people who are online also can join us. Okay, so can you see the form to answer the questions? Yeah? Okay, so the first question is, what is your professional area? So you can tell us if you are working at school, or maybe you are civic activist, or maybe you are, I don't know, AI expert. Okay. Okay, so it was just loading. Okay. Nice. So we have here professional areas of teaching. That's great. Marketing, engineers, communication. Okay, okay. Lots of diversity. That's great. That's very good. Okay. Next question. Okay, so next question was, what word comes to your mind first when you hear AI and education? What is your association with that? It's not showing. Come on.
Just finding on this on the phone. We can fill it out. Yeah, just because yeah, it just says we're waiting for the.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
1 second, we will check.
Sorry for that a bit technical issue. I think it will all be good now.
We can say it out loud while we're waiting.
Yeah, absolutely. If you feel brave enough.
Anyway, let's be outrageous.
Okay, outrageous, a good word. Okay, anybody else wants to share? Future. Okay, cool. Please. New opportunities, right. Changes, yeah. Okay. Self-study, that's a good one, okay. New generation, yes. Evolution and adaptation goes together. Okay, cool, nice. Okay. Easygoing, okay. Okay, can be, yeah. I understand where you're coming from, okay. Nice, great.
Let's try once again because I think
It's working
fixed
already.
it. Yeah.
Ah, you fixed it. Thank you, Vadim. Okay, we have it. Yeah. Okay, evolution, future, adaptation, change. Yes. Oh, now that's a lot. Risk and danger, I can see. Wow. Okay. Access, intelligence, well-educated society, change. Okay. Nice. I think future was mentioned the most since it's the biggest word here, right? Okay, cool. That's good to know. And the next slide, the next question is, what would you like to learn from this forum? Any your expectations, maybe the questions you have, let us know so we can answer maybe. Become more skilled, sharing experience on using AI, connections, opportunity of AI for inclusion, os contactos novos, okay, new contacts, okay. Let's have like 1 more minute, maybe you can think about it a bit more and have time to type. Yeah, there is more. What kind of tools teacher can use in their work? I know the perfect people who can answer this question. Network, how to use AI in a creative and not risky way. Yes, variety of ideas, unique learning. What's the teacher's opinion on kids growing up with AI and what should be the norm? Ooh, who knows? To refine the use of AI, network, what should we know about the future? I would love to know that too. Okay, how to use AI for studying. Yeah, okay, so I hope you will find your answers on this forum and have a great time. And now we will talk a bit about what do we expect today, what is our plan. You all received the forum program. You could see it in your emails, I hope. And now we will see it also here. Okay, I can tell you from what I know myself. We have our speakers here who are ready to come and tell us about the things they prepared, and it's gonna take us the whole morning part, and then at 12:30 we will make a break for coffee and for lunch and for a project fair. We will have some projects that will be presented to you, and you will be able to get to know more about them. And then at 1:15 we will come back here. Hopefully everybody will arrive back again to have a very, very intense discussion and asking all your questions and getting to know everything that we mentioned before. And the day will finish at 3. So you will be able to still enjoy the space a bit, and yeah. So that's how it's gonna be. And now I will invite our first speaker. Our first speaker is Marta Pinto, founder of AI Goes to School, education technology researcher, and learning and developing in the IT sector. Please.
Okay, just for me to eat. Very nice to be here. Thank you very much, Vadim, Natalia, Daria, and your association, all your team for inviting me. I love talking about education and technology. AI is my thing now since ChatGPT entered the world and surprised everyone with this potential technology. So I'm very happy to share with you my questions. Okay, I'm not sure I'm going to have very straight answers because we're all creating. This is a very creative moment, socially speaking. We have to be critical and creative together. And I'm going to share with you today the perspective of schools and the work that I've been doing with schools and talking to teachers and understanding how they're using AI. And I'm going to bring these practical case studies. So I'm going to bring more a perspective of opportunity and optimism. But do not be fooled. I do understand the risks, and we should have conversations around that. There are lots of risks, and there are lots of unknown risks as well. And we do need to also have critical thinking and be concerned about AI in education. But let's go on with the conversation, and then we have the opportunity to talk. So I founded AI Goes to School last year, and what I started to understand was that this technology was going to impact everyone very much. And as a previous educator, I was a teacher, an art teacher for 7 years in the beginning of my career, and then I became an ed tech researcher. And I started thinking, I want to be part of the movement of understanding how we can include AI in schools. Because, you know, everyone asks teachers to react and to go with the flow very fast of all the new technologies and things that are happening in the world. But if there are resilient places in society, they are schools. People have their time. Learning has their time. Teachers also need their time to learn about new things and feel safe about their knowledge to teach the students. So I wanted to be part of the movement, and I'm going to share a bit of questioning and ideas that I had during this this process. So, arrow down and arrow up. Can you pass the slide? Yeah. In your pockets, does everyone have smartphones with you in your pockets today? Okay. So you recognize many of the apps that are there. You probably have many of them. Well, congrats, you have AI everywhere. You have AI in your pocket. Incredible, right? And we've had them for many years, and we weren't even aware before we started talking about AI. Awareness is very important because it's like when we're trying to buy a new car and we look at a color and then suddenly we see those cars everywhere around us, right? Because we are now aware of artificial intelligence, suddenly we see it everywhere. And these apps are everywhere in our lives. They've been for many years. We've been benefiting from them, and they've had lots of impact in our lives. What impact do they have? These are important questions for us to ask and for educators to ask themselves as well, and to teach students to ask these questions. Every technology that we have in our pockets, in our house, in our schools, that we use every day, impact us. If I use Spotify, I am impacted by the choices the algorithm of the company that built the algorithm chooses the music for me. It recommends my preferences. But you know what I do when I really want to find new music that has nothing to do with my preferences? Because, you know, I have a certain age and experience, so my preferences might be limited, and I don't want to be limited. So I like Spotify sometimes. Other times I go to this French radio online that has these playlists going, and I love to be surprised, and I add my favorites to the playlist on Spotify. So the impact that these technologies have may be positive or not so positive, but it's us individually who need to be critical thinkers about this and choose when or not to use these technologies. And so here comes, these questions come through the ethical AI journey of critical thinking about these topics, right? So when we start to question if this serves me, how does this serve me, what impact this has in my life, we start the ethical journey of questioning about AI. So we start usually doing something that is called looking for information, being literate about the topic, right? That's why for me, AI literacy is the first moment where we together start building knowledge to be more critical and start thinking about ethical issues. And just to put everyone on the same level, because we talk a lot about AI and sometimes it's important to define and not just assume that everyone knows what AI is. You know how many years AI is going to be next year? Its birthday, the technology's birthday. It's going to be 70. It's the grandmother. You know, it has the age of our grandmothers or more. So it's been many years since the evolution of this technology, and you have here a diagram that shows the evolution of the technology of AI. So artificial intelligence is a theory and methods to build machines that think and act like humans. They imitate humans. Great! What a great problem to try to solve. Scientists were really curious 70 years ago, right? And this technology has evolved through several subcategories. It was created machine learning, the ability for computers to learn from experience or data without human programming. We have that in Netflix, we have that on the spam. We benefit from this technology already. We don't need to be so aware of it, but understand that we're already benefiting before ChatGPT, because AI, again, has the age of our grandmothers. And then there's the subcategory of deep learning, which is more complex. It's a model of artificial intelligence that mimics the human brain and uses artificial neural networks and performs very complex tasks. One great example of this is the self-driving car. More complex than this. At the moment, I can imagine maybe surgery is complex, but this technology demands that this object takes decisions based on the data that it was trained on, and very sensitive decisions, right? Does it go over an animal, a person? Does the driver go against the wall? What happens? So it's quite complex. Siri as well, our assistants, virtual assistants also are trained with this technology. And then we have the latest one, and the one that probably many of us use every day, generative AI, which is another subcategory of artificial intelligence. And with generative AI, we have this new generation of content through image or text. So we talk with the application, with a tool that has this technology, and in very natural language, like I'm doing now with you, and it answers, it generates content, either image, audio, text, in a very similar language that we would have in interacting with a human being. It was trained for that, very well trained, because sometimes we kind of get fooled and we kind of forget that it's not human, right? It seems like there's a human texting us everywhere. But this is very important. So this is the technology evolution of AI, and now we all know about it. And what does AI mean? We have this. So AI mimics the human intelligence. It simulates the human intelligence with a machine. It is not human intelligence. We are human. That's a machine. It's only imitating. They have, artificial intelligence has the models that analyze data. It's trained, which means that this model makes predictions through statistical inferences according to past trends. And past trends, why? Because the data was already created. So it's something that happened in the past, and that feeds this tool, and the tool will now use it to give us outputs, which is fine. We live with information from the past, right? But let's be aware of this. But it does not have creativity or critical thinking or emotions. It's trained to imitate those processes that we as humans have, because we really want, it seems that I'm not sure we really want, but it seems that we really want a machine that interacts in a very human-like way. So, we have now this collective understanding of what AI can be. And, too fast. Can you help me? Yeah, more or less. I think I should have taken a second coffee. I need more strength in the button. That's the thing. So the process is this. Data. This was done with AI Goes to School. I have the luck of having been a researcher, so I have the conversation with researchers, and Susana Braz is a data science researcher at the University of Aveiro, and we did this diagram together. And so the process of AI is data that is used to train the models which are deep learning, machine learning, generative AI, and then it generates value. These two things together generate value. We see the value and the way that it's operationalized. If you use a self-driving car, it's one type of value. If I use ChatGPT, it's another type of value. But there are many challenges. Remember when I said about data in the past? We have challenges in this data. There's not much transparency about the data that's served to train the models that are behind ChatGPT, for example, or any other generative AI tool that we use. And these are questions that we need to ask. Is the data representative? Does it represent the population, the entire population? Does it have imbalance? Because if it does, we're going to have to deal with it in the outputs, and we have to be critical thinkers as well about the outputs that this tool gives. If the data is not complete and we don't have transparency, can it generate bias? Yes, it happens. So if the data is incomplete, incorrect, or unequal, it generates bias. We've seen these many examples. If you go to ChatGPT, I did this last week and asked it to show me the image of a doctor, and it generates a white male young person, right? And then if I say, please generate the image of a doctor and a nurse, and I'm not specifying gender, it always shows me a woman as a nurse, and then you go on, and then, because traditionally in the past and in the present, the relations of power have reinforced this conception, this preconception. It doesn't mean that it's correct, right? It doesn't mean that it's wrong. It means that in your cultural context, you need to be critical about the output that this tool generates, and help your students be critical about it as well, to accept or not accept, and to dialogue with the tool, because this is very capable technology, so it can give you what you want, but you need, as the human, to know what you want. That's the most important thing. Okay, and those are the challenges because it's everywhere, and if this data is not truly representative and we don't actually know which data was used to train, then we have ethical future problems, issues to deal with, right? And we need to address them. So I'm gonna put my strength on the button, and that's the secret thing. And when we're talking about ethics in education, the ethical journey, we're talking about some of these aspects. Literacy, first of all, very important. We need to empower educators and students with the information and the knowledge to be critical thinkers about AI. We're talking about fairness and having the conversation about fairness, ensuring that these technologies are for all, they serve all, they are accessible to all, and they represent and are diverse, because it really needs to be diverse. It's not a tool made for me, it's a tool made for everyone, and I need to be represented, and it's not admissible for the tool not to represent me, for example, as a CEO, just because I'm a woman, or as a top high-ranking academic professor, just because I'm a woman. We need to have transparency. We're talking about, this is the conversation we need to have in schools and with our kids, making AI processes clear in the school. Also, know about the transparency of who built the tool and the data, and be transparent in our community about how we want it to be used, how it can be, how it cannot be used, how it's not allowed, what's considered correct and not correct in that moment. Build the conversation. This is ethics conversation with the education community. And of course, we cannot avoid issues that are hard, are difficult sometimes to understand about privacy and safety. Students' data is the most important thing to keep safe. They are children. They do not have the ability to decide if they allow their data to be processed and used. You are the responsible adult as a parent, as a teacher, as a school leader. So you need to be informed about the tools that you're using, what they are keeping from student data, what is the data going to be used for, and you need to be accountable, because there will be risks, things will happen. It doesn't mean that we're not going to use the tools. It means that we are aware and we are making clear and transparent choices with our community. Okay? These considerations, these principles for ethical thinking in education are very important, and the UNESCO brings some competencies that are really important for teachers to have related to these ethical principles. And I more or less divided these in 3 areas of competency, because UNESCO divides on more, like level 1, when we start getting to know about the topic, and then a more deep level, and then a more creative level, because when we're creative, it means we're using the information and transforming it to create something new. So that's really the deep level of it. So the competencies of teachers, there's on the right with the light blue squares, are related to these principles. The protection of human rights. Teachers need to know how to use AI in literacy and fairness and transparency to have the conversation and develop work with students around protecting human rights, making students aware about their human agency. We're not controlled by the tools. We control the tools, actually. So don't forget that. And we can write to people who create the tools and say that this doesn't serve us. We can explain and ask questions and ask for answers. So we have lots of agency, and teachers need to build these competencies in order to work with students with them. We need competencies on promoting linguistic and cultural diversity for languages like many of ours who have gender within the language, for example. That's one of the things that we need to be culturally sensitive to. But we also need to be aware of how language builds the results and the outputs of these tools, because we are giving it instructions with words. These tools depend a lot on language. Many times I question myself if small kid or someone that is not so a dyslexic person, for example, or people that are not so literate or linguistically developed or feel so at ease, enriched because of their personal context, how difficult it is for people to interact with this tool, because sometimes for me it's tiring to always be talking and writing and asking, even if I record my sound with generative AI tools. So teachers need to gain competencies to also evaluate the tools. Which tool serves me in my class, which don't, how are they impacting, which data is being collected and how is the data being used in my class. And then in the last level, teachers need to develop their competency towards critical advocacy, be informed really about this, leading discussions and actions like we're doing here. We can have conversations with students in our class, and I'm going to show you some examples next of how that can be done, and be aware of these concerns, not only sustainability with these tools, environmental impacts that they have, and all the how we can create and use it to create sometimes these tools as well to solve some of these problems. Maybe we can have it as a partner. But moving to the practical examples, and I'm going to go back. Teachers are responsible, have a very high responsible role for the education of AI with students. And I'm showing you next 3 case studies that I documented in AI Goes to School. And there are many others, very beautiful. We can have conversation in the rooftop if you want about this. And I'm starting with sharing with you teacher Cecilia. Cecilia Tomas is a teacher of special needs and philosophy. She's actually majored in philosophy. She also did her PhD in philosophy, but she loves teaching kids. And Cecilia has inspired herself in a book of philosophy, the CEBI. It's a little robot from Peter Worley, and she does monthly sessions in her school with primary school kids, monthly sessions of philosophy related to AI. And actually she started doing this before ChatGPT, because sometimes I notice that people expect, when we're talking about AI, many teachers only started talking about AI after ChatGPT. I'm going to show you 2 use cases, these case studies, that teachers were doing this work already on computational thinking and ethical thinking around artificial intelligence. So teacher Cecilia did this. She has 7 lessons. You can see it in AI Goes to School more detailed, 60 minutes each, monthly sessions, where students listen to a story about human children that have a robot friend. This robot is Sebi. And what she encourages students to do is to think critically about this friendship relationship between the robots. And she asks questions during the session, and children build their own conclusions. So the rule is that the teacher never says if it's right or wrong. They lead the children to get to their own conclusions, and the children are asked to follow these 3 rules. Raise their hand to speak, so people have time to think and stop their, sometimes people take more time, students take more time. Respect the speaker, the other friends who's speaking in class, and only help if asked. The tendency to complete phrases, I have it a lot, from the other person, because we're going very fast in our head. We need to keep it slow, because critical thinking needs time, and we need to feel comfortable with pauses. And the students listen to this part of the story, and I'm sharing some questions that come with the story that teacher Cecilia asks the students. And one of them is, for example, is the robot Sebi a real friend? What is it to be a real friend? What does it mean? So we're talking about this human feelings or humanization of the machine. She's starting to distinguish this with the students in a very simple and non-direct way. Can little Sebi be a real friend? What happens? What do the children think? And she conducts the reflection. If a robot acts like a human, is it a human? And if we start treating it as a human, is it a human or not? And can it have feelings? Because many times the children will be challenged with this little robot having feelings of friendship or, you know, being mad at his friend, human friend, because they did something. And it's really interesting to see the kids reflect. And look at this other topic here. What kind of robot will it be? Is it genderless? Bringing on the topic of the gender. Why are we attributing genders to robots? What does that mean to us as humans? Are the assistants women? The Siri, the Alexa, but then the accountant is Watson and is male. Let's reflect, but I mean, with kids we don't. Here I can say it in this tone, but because I'm assuming something. I'm assuming you think like me, okay? But we don't need to assume. In children, we should in education create a safe space because people can think different like me and kids, of course. But this helps us have the conversation. So the robot story is something that follows kids for 7 months, this whole school year. They create a relation, they think very lightly in a very collaborative open space about very complex issues, right? So this is one example, and teacher Cecilia Tomas has this all in open resource that you can hear in Portuguese, the stories, but you can use her templates and record in your own language and use them to work with your students in class. She started working with kids on this before around 2021 because she did during the pandemic of COVID, so before ChatGPT. This is an example I love to go back to. Another example, so this was for critical thinking. Another example is teacher Claudia. Claudia was too... I need to be slower probably. 5 minutes, okay. Back. Okay, I'm gonna pass teacher Claudia, then you can take a peek at teacher Barbara. She teaches at secondary school and she teaches also in higher education. And what Barbara did was very simple, 2 lessons, 4 hours each. She works with her professional students and she explores AI as an assistant for co-creation with the students. And her goal was for students to start using ChatGPT to co-create and have the conversation around academic integrity with the students, and for students to experience themselves how AI can assist, how AI can assist really helpfully, or how it can be really limiting for their work. And so what she did was, so students wrote a story and then they put it in ChatGPT and they asked it for feedback. They built the prompts around it, and then with specific keywords from the story, they created prompts for DALL-E at the time to generate images to illustrate the story. And students were asked to keep a reflective diary on how their experience of interaction with the chat was for them. And she actually published this in an article. She was doing her master's at the time, or her PhD at the time. So she published this in an article. And overall, the students were very optimistic with AI, but they said something in their reflections that's really interesting. They said, okay, ChatGPT really has the ability to write stories and expand in details, but the narratives follow a very rigid, predictable pattern. And they also saw that ChatGPT generated stories with moralism, according to the students, which they found it limiting. So they think it cannot replace the human capacity for inventing stories, but it's a great start. But it's a fast and efficient tool. Students also said, we're very concerned about our work going to ChatGPT, because if it used other people's work, what about copyright? So students made the reflections themselves and shared collectively. This is in 2 classes. So This is something that we can also do. But schools, not only teachers have the responsibility, schools also have the responsibilities as a community and school leaders to create space for teachers to have the conversation and for the community to grow. And the case study that I bring to you is a school in Lisbon. You can check here the other case studies. Wait. The school in Lisbon is Agrupamento de Escolas Leal da Câmara in Sintra, and it is a school that has a teacher librarian doing his PhD. This is not it. Sorry, I can't. I'm having difficulties with my changing the slides, but let's see. I'll keep. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. So the school this teacher librarian. So I'm talking about this teacher because it's very important to have informed teachers and informed people consulting and helping the school to create guidelines and to go towards a direction that helps the community. So what this school did, and at the end you'll see the roadmap, was through this teacher in 2023, so ChatGPT showed up in November of 2022, in 2023, thank you, the teacher created a roadmap and okay, and I'm gonna jump. This is the slide I wanted. This school created a roadmap, which is a beautiful roadmap on how the school would take responsibility and help teachers, students, and parents be informed about AI. And what happened was that in the school year of 22-23, they drew this plan, okay? This was all decided in 2022, and now they're putting into practice. So they would start with a reflection, open events like this one in the community, helping everyone think about what AI is. And they would, in 2023, create awareness. They would create a first draft of a policy of AI use in the school, putting together all teachers from all domains, areas, scientific areas, and they also involved students in the conversation and the Parents Association in the conversation to review the draft. So collaboratively, they prepared the moments to build the AI policy document for the school. They started implementing the AI policy at the beginning of the school year, this last school year, September 2024. Everyone was prepared. During the moment, you're going to see here lots of moments of workshops, reviews. Sometimes it's difficult, people don't have time to learn. Classes go on, teachers have their students have to study, there's no time. But the school can create the time. A time for everyone, a time for teachers. Instead of having a Wednesday afternoon off for meetings, let's have Wednesday afternoon off for learning. And this school created those moments, and they are now collecting feedback from the community on how the implementation of this policy is going. In this document, this policy has 9 pages. It's very short. It's like very high-level references, but it's the first guidance for everyone in the community. And this school, surprisingly, is still, I confirmed with teacher Carlos that did this roadmap with me, still the first school in Portugal to have done this. And we're talking about they have primary to secondary. Public school, I'm talking, okay? Maybe there are more, I don't know. We have, in many other countries, for example, in the United States, 25 states have given out the AI policies, high level for schools to build their own AI policies, so it's a bit more evolved there. In the UK, some countries in Europe, that's happening too. The UK this week launched some references for AI policies. But it's very difficult for schools to put in practice, and they don't do it not because they don't want it, but because it's sometimes so complex and overwhelming that it's difficult, and we need everyone's help to understand how to do this. So this is a good example of schools' responsibility on bringing this conversation to everyone. And I was just going to end with the last idea, that is the future. If all of this is important, we're all important. The future of education is not in the hands of AI programmers or AI itself. It is in our hands, in the hands of curious educators, of informed educators, and of critical thinkers in the community that get involved in AI in education. And I'm very happy to share with you this. So I'm very happy to share with you, if you want a follow-up of this, a summary of this presentation, and some reading materials of practical case studies for teachers. If you want to use this form and add your email there, I'm happy to share with you after the session. Thank you very much. Thank you. What thoughts? So we have probably 5 minutes only. 2 minutes. 2 minutes for one.
No, 5 is okay.
5 is okay. I'm sorry. I appreciate you letting me have more time. Maybe 2 questions. What's popping in your heads when you were looking at the presentation? Anyone want to share some idea, some example, some questions that you had when you saw something that popped into your mind? Yeah.
Thank you for your activity. It is very exciting. What I mean that I think that teachers should be educated in AI even more and more specifically than kids. Because your sentence about teachers who have to get time to know something new is the crucial thing. And I really thank you for the study cases. They're really good. And I hope that what kind of programs here in Portugal are there for teachers and for their education in AI area?
There are several. They're divided in private programs, and then there are public programs. So in public education, each, let's simplify, district has, or each agrupamento, groups of schooling, have a training center which serves them, which is partially financed by the Ministry of Education. And so they have a program of training sessions, workshops, from 3 hours to 25 hours training sessions. And many of them already offer training around AI in AI tools and AI thinking. So teachers can find those opportunities, and it counts for their progression. So it has all these benefits in terms of training. There are some private offers online if teachers find. The university where José Sotero, the next guest is speaking, also had a program once, so teachers can find. But in public schools, there are offers for training.
Okay, thank you. Do you see a great interest from the teachers in the topic of AI? Teachers are very curious and interested in learning about AI. Many times what I see is that, they're all at different levels. And sometimes they go to a workshop that's about a tool, but they didn't go through the literacy part. So they really don't understand how the technology works. So they kind of get afraid of using the tool because they don't understand how to control the data, privacy, safety. They don't know how to interpret that. And so we're all at different levels. With the challenge that I'm finding, even in private offers, I do workshops as well in schools and municipalities for teachers and parents as well. The challenge that I'm finding, and how do we get people all at the same level? That's why I like to start always the presentations with at least with a bit of information on what this is and what does AI mean. And that's the challenge that I'm finding, and people are exploring at different levels and then bringing it to school at different levels as well. But they're very eager, and it's in 20 years of working. So I've been working in education since 2003, and 20 years of teaching, it's the first time that I really see the education community internationally open to process change, because AI is not about tools, it's about changing processes in the way we teach and learn. All right, I'm not going to take more time. We have time to have conversations in the rooftop everywhere, please. I love having talks. So thank you very much for this time.
And our next speaker is José Sotero, PhD candidate in digital media at ICNOVA Faculty of Social Science and Humanities. Yes. The clicker is...
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay. So good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. Thank you for the invitation to be here, just waiting for the presentation. Thank you, Daria. Thank you, Natalia. Thank you, Vadim, for this lovely invite to join to this wonderful event. And thank you, Marta, for this lovely presentation, because I'm a huge fan of Marta's work. So I'm so thrilled to be here talking about things that I like the most, and I hope you also share this interest in artificial intelligence. So today's topic, Vadim talked to me and asked me to talk a little bit statistics about education and AI, and also some facts, and how European is addressing this situation, at least in the member states. So before I pop up into this topic, I would like to share with you one question that is always in my mind, and probably inside yours too, for some times or times to time. So the question is, first of all, how do I change the slide? Thank you so much. But that question usually is, who am I and what I'm doing here, right? So we don't have time for that, so just let me show you some ideas how artificial intelligence is keep crossing my life in the last few years. So I'm a PhD candidate, as Daria said, in digital media, and my project aims to observe the influence of recommender systems, of course powered by artificial intelligence, on students' mental health between the age of 15 and 25 years old. And the end of the project, I hope to have to keep at first my mental health, that would be good, and also to deliver some policy guides to better understand and to better regulate this kind of technology. Recently, I've also enrolled in this new position of AI adoption and business support at a big communication group and advertisement. So this helps me a lot to understand how other fields are applying these tools and how can we manage to put this into a creative process, which is very interesting. But lastly, I'm also the co-responsible for this group of AI for research and education, and we've been working with lots of different entities like University of Aveiro as well, and also for the General Directorate of Education, where we promote a massive open line course for AI, for training and education for teachers of the primary school, of the secondary school, and also at the basic levels. And lastly, I'm very proud to be part of this project with the Social Observatory for AI and Digital Data. And if you are interested in this topic, next week we'll be presenting our first report about AI in journalism, which is another area of application. It's really interesting to talk about this. So you're all invited to join us next Tuesday, 28, at Colégio Almada de Negreiros. So having said that, let's serve the main dish. So today's topic, as you know, enough about me. So today's topic is education and artificial intelligence. Marta already told you about education and also about artificial intelligence, but I would like to bring you a different perspective, a little bit more technical perspective of how it works, so you can better understand how this all works and how this impacts your life. So the first thing to understand that AI is a big expression, actually. And sometimes when you refer to AI, we are saying that we can be referring to a domain as a scientific domain of study, but it can also refer to AI as an attribute of a system. So that system behaves or has some skills that act like intelligent, or it shows like it is intelligent. So let's focus on the first part of it, which is domain, and we have this definition of McCarthy in 1955, which says like the science and engineering of creating intelligent machines. And this is one possible definition. And if you go to the European Union, we have another possible definition, which is a scientific discipline. AI encompasses various approaches and techniques such as machine learning, automated reasoning, and robotics. As you see, a little bit technical, this definition. And my favorite one is this one, the science that makes machines increasingly distant from humans, and this is from Ernest Santos, a colleague in Coimbra. So my question to you is, do you have any idea of why he said this kind of idea, he brought this idea? Pop up with ideas if you want.
More advanced than humans.
That's the way. So the thing is, we're trying to do perfect machines, or trying to make this machine perfect, and humans are not perfect at all. So that's why he brought his definition, this perspective, and I think it's lovely to share. So how is the field of study organized currently? Of course, these have some changes across the years. So we have machine learning, reasoning, and also robotics. So let's start with reasoning, which is all the tasks that allow us to transform data into knowledge and inform the decision making. And you have the other part, which is all the techniques, machine learning, where machines learn how to solve problems. And this is in a very simplest way. And also we have robotics, and robotics is, like they say, the application of artificial intelligence in the real world, like automated cars, drones, and so on. But there's the thing, we also have humanoids, so you can just have Kim Kardashian doing this with the robotics. So all our technology is evolving, so we can do this. It is great, right? So let's move on. So a key insight for this is artificial intelligence encompass multiple things. So when we refer artificial intelligence, at least we should be aware that it has many different applications and many different things inside it. So it's not all the same. So please take this in consideration wherever you speak about artificial intelligence. So now we know as a domain, let's move on to the part of the attribute. So the first question when we think about artificial intelligence, I think another valid question is to ask, what is organic intelligence, right? So when you define one, at least you can have some cues to define another, right? So when I ask you about organic intelligence, what's your idea about this? How do you define intelligence, human or organic intelligence? Do you have any words, any ideas? I'm sorry, I'm so out of my cue. Any ideas? Please.
The capacity to make connections and solve problems.
Yeah, that's amazing. And more?
Creativity.
Creativity, that's wonderful. Do you have another word for that, or any thought about this? So we have this definition from the European Commission which says that the systems designed by humans, this is important for them, so and the systems operate in both physical and digital dimensions, perceiving their environment through data acquisition and then decide the best action to take according to that ecosystem. So what this says is we have a perception of the ecosystem, we process those data, and then we act according to the ecosystem. And we also have a previous goal to achieve. So they have like this scheme, and of course, as you see, the environment is perceived by the sensors. It could be like cameras, keyboard, mouses, touchscreens, microphones, like sensors, and then we have a process of reasoning, and then we actuate in the environment. This is a possible presentation of how these machines works. So a key insight, it's not everything is an AI system, and even a coffee machine that sings you a good morning song and serves the coffee, it doesn't mean that it is intelligent. It has a lot of features that he has. So being the capacity of, or the attributes that you can say that a machine could be intelligent, they have to learn. That's a huge part of the process. So it's, if you have like an object or an artifact with lots of features, it doesn't mean that it is intelligent. It's a very complex, that mean, okay? So never forget this part. And let's save this and let's move to the other part. So now that we have these together artificial intelligence and education, we go into the first part, which is the facts. So we have this expert group created to think about education and also artificial intelligence, and according to this expert group, we have these 4 headings of this connection. We have learning with AI, using AI to learn about learning, learning about AI, and preparing for AI. Those are the 4 domains where when we think about AI education, we should pay attention. Let's see the first one. Well, in this one, I think it's quite self-explanatory. So we use artificial intelligence systems in teaching practice, like Marta was presenting first. How can you use this with artificial intelligence for content recommendation systems, for staff recruitment, schedule planning, and all those support administrative applications. We also have using AI to learn about learning, and it's extremely important. And of course, we have a few notes on this topic about the AI Act that you should also pay attention. So the data collected by digital platforms supporting education is used to learn about how students learn, and it is a very important topic as well. And learning about AI, so you can use artificial intelligence to also understand literacy, and this is really important about this. And the last one, preparing for AI, and this is where we work with citizens and students and teachers and professors to prepare them for the potential impacts of the use of AI. So, but there's always a but, of course. All these activities that include artificial intelligence and education, they are all considered, according to this AI Act, an high risk applications. So there's few limitations of what we can or cannot do in the European space. And there's good things and also not so good things, like you already know. So we have this personalized learning, administrative efficiency, data insights, inclusivity, remote learning, but also underestimation of critical thinking, and it is really important, limited access to technology, privacy concerns, and also bias, like Marta said, and regulatory limitations, etc. Let's save this so I'm doing faster because I want to keep this space. You have time to talk about this, which is the stats. So we have this survey promoted for the same group that produced that document, that last document. And this survey was conducted in all the member states of the European Union. And it was really interesting to see the outcomes of it. So this is the structure of the survey. They ask about the policies and also the current practice of each member state. And the first thing to note is to the question, does your country have a general AI policy and or a strategy? Increasingly, 21 of the member states has a politics and a strategy for this. Only 3 had no policy for this, and 12 of the member states have a general AI policy in place and are also working on the development of it. So this is quite good news, I think. So moving on, they also observe the things about AI literacy, but stress the need for ongoing teacher training, and this is really important. That's why we're also here today. They also view some parts about the curricula that should encompass not only AI technology, but also the ethical, social, and societal dimensions, and also the question of learning with AI. Personalized learning is a common theme in national policies, often involving collaboration with private sector experts. So this is really interesting, and only 5 member states report that AI in education, including learning AI and so on that you already know, is regulated. So this is not so good news, but we are doing a path to going somewhere. So about the applications of these technologies, the most popular and widely used AI systems in education are implemented by the commercial sector. So in this topic, we also can think about actually, we are using software and tools that are developed not by a public institute. So we also have this question of having private companies producing software for the schools, and of course, data will flow in these two axes. Also, the applications of these tools are mostly in the upper secondary level and also in lower secondary level. and also the tasks more used, or where AI is most used is in administrative activities, in learning, student monitoring, and also formative assessment. So, learning preparation, I think this is one question very interesting, which how is learning about AI addressed in school curricula? And 15 said in IT or computer science, 15 as well as part of other subjects like English, arts, or in extracurricular classes. So what about does the literature say, the academic literature say? We have this study, very recent, actually, I think it's from 2025, so early this year, that goes like across the scientific literature and brings you some answers for the questions. What is the effect of AI in education on student learning achievement? How does the effect of AI in education vary according to the field of education, the level of education, learning mode, intervention direction, and also the geographical distribution of students, how these vary according to these factors. And this study presents you like a statistical measure for this, which is, of course, is kind of boring, but at least you have like some numbers to support some evidence and some affirmations that we make. So the first thing to say, like, the overall effect of AI in learning is very large. This is the I will keep you apart from the statistical definition, but the interesting here is to understand that we have like a very large effect, overall effect of AI education in the learning process, and this is a positive effect. And if you go into the effect of AI education on learning achievement according to the field of education, as you see in ICT, information computer technology, and also in medicine and mathematics are huge. The effects on the way we learn with these tools are huge comparing to other fields, and also it varies across different levels of education. Elementary school and preparatory school has a huge effect, and also last one, according to the geographical distribution of learning, as you see in Africa, it also has a huge effect size when in terms of the impact of these tools in the learning process. Let's move on, keep the European playbook exactly what I want to be. So we have these two documents that assist us how to implement these tools into our classes. The first one is this document that talks about the requirements for a trustworthy AI. Human action and oversight is a must thing to consider. Also transparency, diversity, non-discrimination and fairness, and also social and environmental well-being, privacy, and data governance, and for institutional and for other guidance promoted by UNESCO, we have these also in this document, but more focused on generative AI, which is the last part. So institutions must ensure that we accomplish the ethical principles, and of course provide training about Gen AI tools to the teachers, like we were saying before. Prompt engineering skills as another skill that must be in the curriculum, and also pay attention to this kind of idea of plagiarism detection in written work. So this is a very huge challenge as a professor, and also as in the other part of the industry. Sometimes it's really difficult to address this question of copywriting, and also the idea of plagiarism, authorship. That's quite a huge topic to discuss, and probably during the afternoon we'll talking about this a little bit more. This is some examples. University of Aveiro has already produced like their own guidelines for the use of artificial intelligence in education. And if you are into the research field, we have this bonus document, which is living guidelines for the responsive use of generative AI in research. I would skip this part because we also have some ideas from Marta, but I want you to show these other examples of the collection of data analysis in real time. So, like we were saying before, we are collecting data from our students in real time, and this is one example that happens in China. In the European Union, this is not possible according to the AI Act, so this is one thing to keep in mind. And another application of this is the automatic recognition of students' emotions from facial expressions during the lecture, so it can adjust our teaching our teaching activity during in real time. And let's save these, and I would like to give you some questions for sleepless nights, because it happens to me a lot. So how are we adapting the curriculum to prepare students for future professions shaped by AI? How can we ensure equitable access to AI tools in education for students from underserved regions or social economic backgrounds? And how can teachers and professors be effectively trained and supported to use AI as a transformative tool rather than just an automation ad? So I'll leave you with these questions, and probably, I don't know if we have time for a few questions. Yeah, okay. So if you want to keep in touch with me, we have this link tree, and also my email as well, okay? So if you have any ideas or any answers for these questions, please pop up with your ideas and thoughts. Please.
Just very quick, you told me only 5 states have this regulation of AI, and what states are they?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Sorry, you told us that only 5 European states have these regulations on IE.
Oh, I don't have that name of country. Sorry, but I can bring you after.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
This is just for your questions to be heard in the online translation also. So if you want to ask something, please, I will give you the mic. Or answer something.
Sorry, my English is not so good as others, so I will translate. So, on other hand, artificial intelligence makes a great boost for education. And as I see, the regulation norms here in European Union are quite strict. How do you think, will it be too hard to spread out the artificial intelligence knowledge and new maybe software? Because as I know some cases, the same one in America, here in Europe and in China, and less regulation norms are better for new knowledge. What do you think about this?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, and probably I won't have an answer to give you, but I will have my thoughts and perspectives on this topic. So I think that this regulation, this kind of new, this AI Act is new, and it's really interesting because it established like 3 levels of risks of technology. So according to that level of risk, you have some things to consider, more or less, according to that level. Of course, education is a very, very important thing in our society. So I understand why you have so much things and so much requirements to apply these technologies into the classes and into this domain of our society. Probably what will happen is we will understand, we'll have more practice to introduce these technologies, people will be more aware, professors will be more aware, some case studies will pop up, some ideas, some new concepts, some new experiments, and then this will help us to better regulate these technologies. So I think like it is a co-creation process. Yeah, we have like some limitations at the beginning, then we're going to time by time rescheduling and updating that according to the reality of our schools. I think this is my perspective. So if you don't have any question, I'll pass the word to Daria. Thank you so much. We'll talk later.
Thank you very much, José. It was super cool to know all the things. And yeah, so now we are coming closer to our break. I hope you're all hungry and looking forward to it. But just a little bit more before that. Can we come back to the main presentation, please? Our break will be around 45 minutes to an hour long. And we will have some kind of challenge for you during the break. Because during this lunch break time, we will have our project fair. And we have some projects that applied to participate in this project fair. So if you are one of these projects that applied to participate, please come up to the stage right now. Okay, and yeah. And if you want to also participate, but you didn't apply, but you want to do it now, I will give you the word after, okay? So, 1 minute.
The main idea of format, I just would like to introduce this idea. We just invite you to this brief announcement about your project. If you have some to share with your colleagues during the coffee break. And me personally, I would like to present you more about Clarity School. If you have some interest about this school, about this project, so we are right now small private primary school in Lisbon, located in Lisbon. We are right now transforming into international school and getting Cambridge license, and our main idea is to help to soft integration of different kids from different cultures. So, and I would like to tell you more about it during coffee break. If you want, you can come to me to this rooftop, and because on the rooftop we have this food served for you. So that's it from my side. Natalia?
Yes, thank you. I just want to say a few words about Jornada Association, which we are representing here. It is Jornada Convidativa, the full name is. It is a Portuguese non-profit organization dedicated to the development of civic education with a focus on students, teachers, and migrant community. And in case you want to know more about our projects, and one is this forum, also come to me and to the rooftop, and I told you.
Hi everyone, my name is Joana. I'm a co-founder of Class of Wonders, which is an edtech that is hosted here in Casa do Impacto. So if you want to come here in another day to do a visit or a tour, you're welcome as well. In Class of Wonders, what we do, we are trying to tackle learning poverty issue, and we develop games to disrupt the one-size-fits-all experience in classroom, trying to on one hand, engage all kinds of students to learn, and on the other hand, make sure that they are included and they can learn at their own pace. So our challenge now with AI is see it as an opportunity to expand content and make sure that we can generate individual paths for each kid. We are working mainly in public schools in Portugal, now in Spain and Brazil. And this is the example of a hybrid solution we have. It's called Magus, and products are always evolving, but Magus is a book of magic that connects to a computer, and kids enter in this land of magic, and they are invited to raise some strengths to be like wizards, but this totally integrated with the Portuguese curriculum, so they are doing exercise of Portuguese without noticing in the beginning, and totally emerging engaging narrative, doing exercise exactly at their own level, diagnosed by teachers, but in the future, who knows, diagnosed by AI. Thank you.
Thank you. And Joana is also can share more about Casa do Impacto, because yeah, I think yeah, because you are only person to present this organization, so you can also tell more about what's happening around, so what opportunities Casa do Impacto can share with others. Okay?
Yeah, I can. So Casa do Impacto. People from Casa do Impacto may forgive me because I don't know everything, but we are here since this co-working space opened, and it's more than a co-working space because it put together a lot of startups and NGOs that contribute in any way to the SDGs. So this is the requirement to be here. Your organization needs to be connected with one of the 17 SDGs. So you find here a lot of projects related with health, with education, with environment, and sustainability in general. Being here is really nice, not only because it's a beautiful building with a lot of sunlight, but it's really important to get together with other projects, learn with each other, and Casa do Impacto has also a lot of programs to startups that are or starting or growing, it depends on your state, and you can learn a lot participating on these projects if you have your own project and you want some training and guidance. I think it's more worth it.
Okay, anybody else who wants to present their projects, just a minute so you make yourself visible and people can come to you and talk about your project. Open space, like catch the opportunity. It's fine also, you can just mingle and talk to each other. So, the challenge of today lunch break is you need to meet at least one project that was presented now, so you can talk to Joanna, to Vadim, or to Natalia. Also meet at least 3 new people and ask them what are they doing here? What are they doing in general in their lives? What is their connection to AI or any other questions you feel like? Also, the third challenge is to have a great snack. It's going to be served on the rooftop here. So you will come up the stairs and then one more stairs and you will see the area. Also, I wanted to tell you that the Casa de Baño bathroom is downstairs and on the right. Yeah, we will see you back at 1:15, and one little request from us, if you don't mind, to go now to the rooftop all together and have a group photo all together. Is it okay with everybody? Yeah? Okay, let's go all together then.
About also drinks, you can grab here coffee and tea and water because there are only food. You can